Welcome, everyone. Oh, it's so great to see you. So it's 3 o'clock on Thursday. It's time for Travel Talks. And I am Diane Cook, the owner and principal travel designer for Seven Seas to Sea Travel, specializing in your not so routine travel adventures. Today, I am thrilled to have a colleague I've known for years, very esteemed in our field, Lori Patterson. She's been with Holland America and Seabourn for 21 years. I know they must have hired her out of public school, but we're so glad that she's here and with us today. I love talking about the possibility of a world cruise. And that's, we named it, what in the world is a world cruise like? Because people have asked me, could you do it? Could you stay on a ship? Yes, the answer is yes. I've been on a ship for a month and wasn't even ready to leave. It's not, you're going to hear more about that. And please, I am here for all your questions and to carry on the conversation long after we're done. But sit back, have a cup of tea, enjoy. And Lori, you can take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Diane, for that warm welcome. And it is very true. I would live on a ship if I could. Fortunately, we're stuck here on land. But, it is absolutely true. And part of dreaming about returning to travel and sailing, it just gives me hope and it makes me feel better. And I'm so glad that everybody has been here to join us today to talk about my passion, cruising. And thank you for taking time out of this lovely sunny day, out of your gardens and maybe spring cleaning. But I'm going to actually remove the video so I can focus on the screen. Is that all right, Diane?
Yes, you go right ahead.
Yeah, okay. I want to hide the video. There we go. So thank you very much. I find it a little distracting. So anyway, thank you so much for inviting me here today, Diane. And I have lots to talk about today. And as Diane said, I have been with Holland America Line and Seabourn. I'm going into my 21st year now. And my love of cruising just keeps growing and growing. And I'm sure because you're signed on here today, you clearly have an interest in cruising as well, but mostly my thing is bucket listing around the world. So I want to talk today about our Extraordinary Horizons, which is really our signature product with Seabourn and our world voyages. So we have many world voyage products, but today I'm going to focus on 2022 and 2023 because we have just now launched the 2023 product. So we really want you to, to join our like-minded explorers. And Diane mentioned, could you live on a ship for a month? I absolutely could, I would, but it's more than a month. This is a span of 145 glorious days, traveling in the consummate comfort and elegance aboard the beautiful, beautiful Seabourn Sojourn. So Seabourn has been in business now. This is our 32nd year. So we have sailed around the world many, many times. And of course, this past year we have missed and we are anxious to return to sail. And as I told Diane, we are literally knee deep in conversation about getting our ships back in the water. And we literally just announced yesterday our return to sail in Greece in July of this year. So we will be running 7-day itineraries out of Athens. So we're thrilled to announce that. And I will have a little bit more information if Diane needs some. But today we really want to focus on our grand voyages and our around the world voyages. But what is really, I think first and foremost on everybody's mind, and I want to just get this out of the way, is our safety protocols on board, because everybody is curious, how is this going to impact the onboard experience? But really, what are we going to be doing to keep everybody safe? And it truly is our highest priority to comply with environmental protection, to really protect the health, safety, and well-being of our guests, the crew, and the people and the destinations that we visit. So we really go by this creed. And we are working very closely with CDC as well as science to make sure that the onboard experience is going to be the utmost in safety for you when you return. So we have enhanced our medical facilities, but just to give it a very brief overview, we're focused on working with travel insurance, and we offer an insurance program. And I know Diane will verse you very well with how to cover yourself while you are traveling with travel insurance. I don't think this has been ever more prevalent than it is now, but we are also enhancing our ventilation systems. We actually have the youngest fleet in the luxury space right now in the marketplace. So our ventilation systems are already state of the art, but we are installing HEPA filters everywhere on board. So it's going to be even more enhanced as much as we can possibly do. All of our staff, of course, will be wearing masks. That will be mandatory. And our guests on board, if you are not in an eating or drinking environment, will be required to wear masks at this time. Luxury, just on its own, luxury cruising is ideally situated for social distancing. Seabourn is all about space and comfort, and our ships are literally designed to have the highest space ratio in the industry. So these days when distancing is, again, very high on everybody's priority, the ships are designed, the suites, for you to be so comfortable in them. A lot of people do spend a little bit more time in their suites in general, but our public areas, there's never lineups. There is never really a time when you are going to be close to people unless you really want to be. We are enhancing our sanitation protocols, so our cleaning and our procedures on board will be to the highest level they can be. And of course, the health and safety of our crew is extremely important, because our crew used to be moving from ship to ship, and that's very common in the industry, but now that will no longer be possible. So we will have our own bubble of crew on board our ships. And of course, we have increased our medical capacity on board with doctors and nursing. We've always had staff available on board, but now that will be enhanced even more. We will actually also be reserving some suites for isolation if any outbreaks occur on board of COVID. And our emergency response systems will also be enhanced. And there's a lot more to come. As everybody knows, you know, today, everything is really, has to be very pivotable and changeable on a dime. So the CDC is really dictating what's happening on board every cruise ship, but we are just even kicking up a notch in keeping with our luxury space that is Seabourn. I'm going to go in more detail about the Seabourn product if you have not already sailed with us before, but I really want to talk about who we are and what we do that is different and makes Seabourn such a special product. But before I do that, I want to talk about our world voyages and where we want to take you. So I'm very excited to show you our itinerary for our world voyage in 2022, our Extraordinary Horizons, sailing from Los Angeles to Athens for 145 glorious days aboard the Seabourn Sojourn. And for those of you that are joining us, you will be departing on January the 11th, so less than a year away, which hardly even seems possible, but it's true. So we're going to be doing over 27,000 nautical miles, 5 continents, 28 countries, with 20 overnights. And that is a very, very key feature on these Grand World Voyages, because we really have enabled you to have some time on land to do some additional exploration off of the ship. So I know when some people think about being on board for 145 days, you are actually off of the ship quite a bit. And these overnights allow you to do some additional time on land, maybe doing an inland when you're in Australia, a lot of different options that we have available for you. So you will be spending time off of the ship as well. And you will be crossing the equator twice, which is always a lovely ceremony on board for anybody that has done an equatorial crossing on board a ship. It is really a very special occasion. And crossing 3 datelines on your sail. So just that alone makes this such an extraordinary voyage. So, you know, every day on a world cruise is an exciting one, and we've filled with these itineraries with marquee cities and amazing places that we have all dreamed about sailing to. For me, many of these are, as I mentioned, bucket list destinations for me, and I hope they are for you. Every one of our Grand Royal voyages is a different itinerary. So it's really, really important. If you see an itinerary that appeals to you, you should go, because it will never be the same twice. So unfortunately, we have limited time today, because I could talk about this forever, but I want to talk about this itinerary specifically and some of the iconic destinations that you're going to be seeing. But there's a lot more information, and I really encourage you to contact Diane for more details. Diane is such a well-traveled advisor. She will be able to navigate this really complicated space that is going to be travel when we return to the water. I want to take you now to some truly unique and exotic destinations that speak to the itineraries and the time that we take to curate these really, really special voyages for you. So we start in Los Angeles, and what we are going to be doing is having a very special evening. So we're going to be flying all of our full world guests down to Los Angeles, and you will be put up at the Ritz-Carlton for a very unique evening with the president of Seabourn, and we will be sending you all off on a farewell dinner like no other. It's going to be quite a beautiful send-off for you, and the next morning you will sail from Los Angeles down to the waters of the South Pacific on your way down to New Zealand. So, this is going to be really the routes of explorers, artists, and adventurers, from Captain Cook to James Michener. You're going to be getting all sorts of wonderful educational components as you sail. And our first port of call will be to the Hawaiian Islands. And I know this is not maybe the most exotic destination, but we will show it to you in a very special way. To me, Hawaii is a very, very special place. I've been here many times, and we will take you to not only the, of course, the big city of Honolulu, but we'll take you to Kauai, over to Maui, and also over to Fanning Island, which is not a very popular Hawaiian island. Most people don't even know about it. So you're going to see some special, unique destinations in Hawaii that others have not, and different experiences. So we'll be making our way from Hawaii down to New Zealand via the South Pacific. And of course, before crossing the international dateline, you're going to go on your way to Samoa and Tonga, and they are going to appear on the horizon for you as we sail into the South Pacific and into the very remote islands of the South Pacific. You're going to find both sophisticated cities and fascinating Maori culture, with an abundance of natural splendor, which is really the North and South Islands of New Zealand. To me, this is a very beautiful, beautiful destination. New Zealand is, I think a lot of Canadians have a great kinship to New Zealand. Many have said it reminds them very much of Canada because of the unique wilderness and the pristine nature and wildlife that is New Zealand. We're going to have a wonderful overnight in Auckland, the city of sails. We'll be making a stop in Tauranga, where you can visit Rorotura and dramatic geysers and the Maori culture center here. Lots and lots to see. This is beautiful, beautiful island. And then of course, we'll be making our way down to the Southern Island, Queen Charlotte Sound crossing, and going down to Wellington before visiting New Plymouth, beautiful snow-capped mountains, and lots of hiking and lots of great adventures waiting for you. And then of course, we'll be making our way over to Australia. So no visit to the Southern Hemisphere is really complete without the beauty and beautiful, features that Australia has to offer. Of course, you'll be greeted by the wonderful sail-shaped silhouettes of the Opera House in the Sydney Harbour. This is everybody's welcome into Australia. and you're spending a wonderful overnight into this vibrant seaside city and a perfect launch pad to the exploration of Australia that would include the Whitsunday Islands, and lots of different adventures await you. And of course, we are going to be spending 2 days up in Cairns featuring 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. One, of course, being the fabulous Great Barrier Reef. I mean, this is truly an underwater explorer's dream. And we'll taking you over to the Daintree Rainforest, find some of the finest beaches in the world, and very, very few people on them. So lots of gorgeous sunbathing for you, but wonderful exploring. The national park, which is Daintree National Park, is home of some of the most unique animal wildlife in the world. And again, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We'll be spending 2 days in Darwin with amazing World War II history, and of course the saltwater crocodiles and amazing Aboriginal cultural influence in Darwin. So really such a great landscape of diversity just alone in Australia. And from Australia, we'll be making our way, crossing up the Pacific and the Indian Oceans, Indonesian and Philippine archipelagos, and we'll find the most extensive and intriguing island realms. Very amazing culture. We'll be heading into Timor and Banda Islands, beautiful volcanic peaks, and as you can see here, the water in this area, absolutely spectacular. We'll also be going into Porto Princesa, yet another UNESCO World Heritage Site. And this offers you the world's longest underground river and some of the most important forests in Asia in Sulawesi. And the Spanish colonial influence can still be really felt with 2 days in Manila. So this is really an exciting part of the world, lots to explore. And even more ocean island adventures as we make our way up to Taipei before sailing north into the marvels of Japan, Korea, and into China, mainland China. So the in-depth exploration of Asia, this includes Amami, Japan, with its coral reefs, and Okinawa's ancient Shuriman Gate, again, another UNESCO World Heritage Site. So this gives you, this whole area is so steeped in history, and really a wonderful area to explore. And we will be spending lots of overnights here for you to spend that additional time on land I referred to. We'll also go to the historic cities of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, very poignant memorial peace park. Overnights include here Busan, Korea, and Nagasaki. You'll be spending an overnight here as well. So lots of time for some great exploration. And of course, this will really being a crescendo, a highlight leg on this, leading up to full 3 days in Shanghai, one of China's most vibrant cities, and of course the very British influence that is Shanghai. This is an amazing city. If you have not been, spending 3 full days there will really be a highlight for you. I was absolutely astounded by Shanghai. I loved the energy of the city and the history here. The shopping is magnificent, the food, just the sheer energy of it. It is 3 full days will go very, very quickly for you. And from Shanghai, we'll continue to Southeast Asia, visiting the beautiful Halong Bay and into the South China Sea. So lots more to explore, again, with some overnights here. And of course, with the intimate size of the Seabourn sojourn, this gives us the ability to take you right up the Saigon River into the heart of Ho Chi Minh City. So this is an experience that not a lot of cruise ships can do. So it reduces your travel time and gives you lots of time in port to visit, again, this very historic, very amazing city of color and food and smells. It's just absolutely spectacular. And of course, the beautiful Bay of Hong Kong, as well as Ho Chi Minh. I just think these are wonderful cities to explore. I love them all. I think the Orient has so much to offer, and a lot of this itinerary is very Asian in depth. So this is really for those of you that have this on your bucket list. one of my favorite cities, Bangkok, Liam Shabang, which was it's more known as Bangkok. This, as well as Singapore, really enriches a very in-depth exploration of this whole area in the South China Sea. I spent about 6 weeks over in Singapore and did a lot of exploring in Asia. And this whole part of the world to me has a very special place in my heart. I don't think there's anything like it anywhere else. And I really hope that this is a big highlight for everyone here. And a very, very special treat awaits everyone on board at a place called Koh Kud, which is in Thailand. And this is one of our private islands with Seabourn. And we have these private islands, I believe we have 3 of them now across the world. And this gives us an opportunity to cater the most extravagant caviar in the surf experience. And our officers and our crew from the ship actually jump into the water in their uniforms and on surfboards bring champagne and unlimited caviar for you as you lounge on the beach, and officers pour glasses of champagne for our guests. This is truly one of everyone's best beach days. It is a unique experience to Seabourn. And if you have ever seen, I don't know, we used to do a lot of print ads where you saw, our staff in the water holding drinks on a tray. That is unique to Seabourn, and this is something that we have done for 30 years. We call this a Seabourn moment, and truly a very memorable experience. And we will have these special moments and Seabourn experiences scattered throughout the cruise for you. So it just makes, this is, I think, a real bonding experience for everybody on board. But I have to tell you, this is something that the crew looks forward to on every sailing. They love, love, love these days. And everybody on board the ship is invited to go to the beach and have entertainment and ice cold champagne served to them all day. It's really fantastic. So we leave Asia and we will be making our way through the South China Sea, and we will be on our way to trace the spice route from Malacca Strait up the Malay coast and up into the Indian Ocean islands. So again, amazing history here with the Chinese junks, and which used to take these spices from this area up into the Indian Ocean islands. So very remote destinations we'll be taking you into. We'll be stopping in Kuala Lumpur, to Georgetown, Porto Malay, in Phuket, and cruising in the Indian Ocean and to the splendor of the exotic ports that await you. Of course, India, a destination like no other. We're also, going to take you into, to me, destinations that this really just would not be complete without overnight in Sri Lanka. So we're going to take you here and again, overnighting into the Maldives. Remote. This is a very fantastic part of the world, and a really fun fact here. I love this about the Maldives, because it's made up of these 26 archipelagos, and this is the average ground level elevation at this highest point is 4.5 feet, which makes it the world's lowest lying country. So really a fascinating place to be, and to a wonderful walking destination, lots of history again, very remote parts of the world. And we'll be making our way up through the Arabian and the Red Seas. And one of the highlights of this world cruise, of course, is our return to Egypt. Seabourn has not been back to Egypt since 2013. So due to a lot of political strife there, we chose to remove our ships from these destinations, but we are so excited to be going back to Egypt. So we will be spending 2 days in Luxor, which will provide you an opportunity to explore the temples and the colonnades and the avenues of Luxor, as well as the Valley of the Kings and Queens. So you're going to be able to do some serious in-depth Egyptian exploring. And of course, moving over into Jordan, you're going to be taken to the long lost city of Petra, one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. So, I mean, just the I have never been to Petra, and this is one of my top bucket list destinations to go. I can hardly wait to get here and actually see this for myself in person. Anybody that I know that has been here is been awestruck just by the sheer uniqueness and the antiquity of this destination. So of course we will be taking you into the Holy Land, transiting through the Suez Canal. Now, of course, that has been cleared and we're ready to go through again. We'll be taking you up to Haifa, gateway to the Holy Land, and again, UNESCO World Heritage landmarks in Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Judea, and Galilee await you. So really, again, great in-depth exploration of the Holy Land. So this is really, I think, the opportunity to explore this ancient world from the Levantine sites. I'm really excited about this because not only have many people not been here, but again, the way that Seabourn and UNESCO will show you these destinations is like no other. So we're going to be making our way up to Greece, where we will be completing your epic journey in Europe, in Athens, and you will be able to spend some time, of course, in Athens. You know, if any of you have been to Greece, this is a spectacular city. Lots and lots to see here, to the Acropolis, just the Plaka in Athens, one of everybody's favorite cities in the world. So much energy, and just the food here alone is worth going to Athens, in my personal opinion. So that is in a very, very brief trip, 27,000 nautical miles. I think, you know, there's lots of destinations that will pique everybody's interest, but if this is just too much for you to bite off in one big hunk, you can do something called segments of the world voyage. So this is an opportunity for you to perhaps, you know, if I said this is too much time for you, we have segments ranging from 22 days up to 89 days in length. So you can do some of this exotic exploration in shorter time frames. So maybe, you know, it's too much time away for you, but this gives you the opportunity, and here are the segments for you to take advantage of. So Diane can walk you through some of these and some of the advantages of airfare and how to navigate some of these exotic itineraries. I mentioned UNESCO here several times, and the reason that I do that is because Seabourn has a unique partnership with UNESCO. We are extremely proud to be official partners with them. And during the course of the year, we actually visit over 170 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And every time that we go, and the people that we bring with us as our guests, we make donations to UNESCO. So it helps keep these very, very important and very iconic destinations alive and functioning due to the contributions. So we're extremely proud of that. And this partnership, we will be bringing you to, I believe, there are going to be 9 World Heritage destinations for you to visit. And each of those has many UNESCO points as we sail there. So there's lots and lots to see, and UNESCO really supports our efforts to take you there. And I talked about overnight stays. So really, you know, the goal of travel is to bring us closer together by understanding the different world cultures. So by overnighting, this really gives you that opportunity to really lean into these exotic, iconic ports of call. So 20 opportunities for overnights, allowing you to experience these destinations like a local. So we're really excited to have that as part of our itineraries. So being a part of a full world cruise gives you some exclusive opportunities. Some people ask us, you know, why don't you include optional shore excursions with Seabourn? Well, we do better than that. We actually have special Seabourn opportunities. So we have these special opportunities for everybody on board. We have a special, what's called an evening at Ephesus event. So this, if you've ever been to Turkey, one of our stops here is at the library at Ephesus, a very ancient site where we have the opportunity to close down the site except for our Seabourn guests and serve you a classic musical concert with a full-scale black tie dinner. So this is an extraordinary evening in the library at Ephesus, available to all our World Cruise passengers. And of course, we have our exclusive World Cruise President event. So Mr. Leibowitz is going to be kicking all of you off in Los Angeles, as I mentioned, and of course, our special World Cruise pillow gifts. You will have some extraordinary mementos to take home with you as you sail. So lots of opportunities to do some special full cruise opportunities. So all of our guests will be participating in these events. So these are great highlights. And shore excursions are not included with Seabourn because a lot of our guests like to do excursions on their own. And to be honest with you, in 2022, considering the state of the world, we may be doing bubble shore excursions. So we will be having more opportunities and more information for you on that and how we're actually going to be offering shore excursions to our World Cruise guests. We have to work with people in port at every one of the destinations that we sail to. So this is a very complicated shore excursion program that we're going to be offering. So stay tuned for more information as it becomes available. So I want to talk about the ship that you're actually going to be sailing on, or some of the Seabourn, the things that make Seabourn unique, and the fleet is absolutely one of them. So the Seabourn Sojourn, she's one of our original classic ships that was built in 2009, only 229 suites. So really just over 400 very lucky people to be sailing with you on the Grand World Voyage. So this is the fleet currently that is Seabourn. So we have the Odyssey, the Sojourn, the Quest. Those are the three original sister ships. So they were built in 2009, 2010, and 11. These are identical ships, as I mentioned, just over 400 guests. And in 2016 and in 18, we introduced the Encore class of the Encore and the Ovation. So they're just 600 guests available for sailing on those ships. You can see each one of these ships is identical. The deck plans are identical. All of the dining is virtually the same. The difference between the Encore and the Ovation is that we have one more passenger deck. So we've been able to increase the guest count, but the ships literally are identical in the touch and the feel and the look of them and the way that they're constructed. So if you sailed on the Sojourn, when you step on board the Odyssey, you don't have to get familiar with the ship, you'll already know it. So they look very, very similar. We are going to be launching our new expedition ship, the Venture, in 2021. So December of this year, we will be launching a brand new expedition ship, which will be doing the Arctic and the Antarctic. So stay tuned for that. And if that is on your bucket list, please talk to Diane. We can maybe have a separate expedition series further down the line if expedition is something that interests you. So what is unique about Seabourn? And we like to really qualify by calling these the differences of Seabourn, the all-inclusive differences. And it's not only the size of our ships, because these are very luxurious ships, yet they are relaxed and casual, sophisticated. It's about the size and the intimacy that all of these ships feel like your own private yacht. It's very social on board, but the fellow guests have really very interesting backgrounds coming from all over the world. We have a very international audience, clients from all over. We have, I mentioned the space on board, one of the largest space ratios in the industry. So this really makes us unique in just the style and the class of the ships. It's about our staff, it's about our itineraries, very special, unique itineraries, very carefully crafted. all oceanfront suites. So there are no inside suites to sail in. These are all oceanfront, and our Encore and Ovation ships are all veranda suites. And of course, welcome champagne, complimentary, fully stocked in-suite bars. Our staff, to me, when I sail on Seabourn, I think the staff is our biggest takeaway. They're so engaged and really want to get to know you on a personal level. But what is key is this is all in an environment of no tipping required, nor is it expected. So you get unique, very personable, customized service without tips. So that really, really makes a difference to the service that you will receive on board. And of course, all of our dining venues are completely complimentary, and there's no set dining time. You can dine where, when, and with whomever you wish. And of course, we have our fabulous culinary partnership with Chef Thomas Keller. Any of you out there are foodies, you know the quality and the unique presentation style of Thomas Keller. It really, really fits the Seabourn atmosphere to a T. Fabulous food. Really, our dining rooms are not to be missed, and our alternate dining at the Thomas Keller Grill. Amazing dining. Dining is probably one of the greatest entertainment that you will be experiencing in the evening on board Seabourn. Again, in my personal opinion, I love to eat well when I'm away, and I have to say, Seabourn makes dining a true experience. Our luxuriously appointed suites. And I mention this because when you are on board for 145 days, it's really important that you have a space that you are not only comfortable in, but that is appointed to your likes and your dislikes. Our suites are so luxurious and so fabulous. I mentioned a fully stocked bar. You have very spacious verandas, fully walk-in closets. You have coffee bars. You have touch-tone butler service at, concierge service at your fingertips, flat screen TVs, Bose sound systems. These suites are really designed for you to be as comfortable as possible so you can relax and truly enjoy your around the world voyage. Our average suite is 300 square feet. And we have, of course, our beautiful premium suites that go up to over 1,100 square feet. Lots of entertaining space, or if you were hosting maybe some guests in port, there's a lot of comfort here. Beautiful, beautiful suites, as you can see. And of course, our public areas are really a very private club ambience. To me, we have our Seabourn Square. So when our guests are brought on board, you're actually checked in on board the ship. So you're brought into Seabourn Square with a lovely glass of cold champagne. And it's like being welcomed into somebody's home. And this truly is a home away from home for 145 days. So, we want to make this as welcoming and as comfortable for you as possible. And again, no tipping required nor expected. And here is our fabulous Thomas Keller Grill. To me, it's all about the food and the fine wines of Seabourn. We have unlimited caviar, unlimited champagne, unlimited foie gras throughout the entire cruise, as much as you want, wherever and whenever you want. It's a gourmet traveler's dream. Fabulous spa facilities for you. We have wonderful evening entertainment highlighted by songs of Sir Tim Rice. So he is kind of the background of all of our evening entertainment. But one of the best evening entertainments to me is sitting out on the back deck in the open air under the stars, having a cognac and just reflecting on the day and where you've been and what you've seen. And we really want to make this the best value for you. So for those of you that are booking before the end of May, we have some wonderful opportunities for you to get some extra value, offering you business class air, shipboard credits, private car transfers, unlimited laundry and dry cleaning while you're away, so you don't have to bring bags and bags and tons of luggage with you. It's really we're trying to get away from all of that. So we want to make this as easy for you as possible. You get a reduced deposit, which is of course fully refundable, and a 3% early bonus savings. So very, very great value for you. And if you are taking a segment, you still are getting some great amenities if you book by May 31st of this year. So lots of great value for you, great incentives for you to sail, and Diane's even going to complement more of that, not only with her amazing service, but she'll be offering you some additional value add, which she's going to follow up with you. But I also want to let you know that we have just launched our 2023 Grand World Voyage. And again, you can see how different this itinerary is. Still 140 glorious days. These sailings always depart in January, so we always want to leave when it is coldest here, and really a nice time for us to be away from the cold. Here you will visit 6 continents, 32 countries, and 10 overnights in this extraordinary itinerary for 2023. Lots of time in Australia. So this will be overnighting in Melbourne, which will give you time to go inland to Ayers Rock to do some great over Australia time. I believe you have about 6 days to do an inland exploration of Australia and up into Bali. And then we are making our way over to the Seychelles, into Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, and Senegal. So this will give you the opportunity to do some safaris if that is what is on your bucket list. Clearly, the 2023 itinerary is really geared to African exploration. So we're really excited about these itineraries. And of course, then making your way up to us or up into Europe, Cape Verde, the Canary Islands, as well as Morocco. Again, you can break this into segments. So if it's 140 days too much for you, take a look at some of these amazing itineraries. So again, lots of opportunity for you from 27 days up to, I believe the longest on this is 81 day segments. And again, lots of opportunities for you to take advantage of early bonus world cruise if you are booking by May 2022. So for those of you that are early planners, we love you and we want to make sure that you're equally getting the great value when you're booking early. So lots of great incentives for you. And for those of you that perhaps have future cruise credits, maybe you were booked on a Seabourn cruise prior to COVID, and maybe you have some credits sitting around. Now is the time that you want to make use of those and make sure that you don't leave anything on the table. So get in touch with Diane and she can advise you on that. And I want to do a brief shout out to a brand new itinerary you may not have seen, and I know we're running short on time, but stick with me just a few more minutes. And I want to mention our 2023 Grand America circumnavigation of South America, including the Amazon and Antarctica. This is a very, very special sailing because we have the opportunity for you to sail into Antarctica. And we are also taking you to South Georgia Island. We are one of the few cruise lines that have this opportunity to sail from Rio, from Punta Arenas and around the Horn with 6 to 8 days of wet landings in Antarctica. And we'll take you around the Horn and up the whole west coast of South America. And I actually want to just chime in and bring Diane here just for a moment because she's actually done the sailing around the Horn. Diane, you want to just say how special and how brilliant that is?
Absolutely incredible. I sailed from Buenos Aires to Uruguay, then we headed out to South Georgia Island. So I spent Christmas Day with the king penguins. That was life-changing. And then we spent a full week of landings on the Antarctic Peninsula before crossing back over the Drake and heading back up the coast to Santiago. Just incredible. I was on the Seabourn Quest, and everything that Lori talks about brings back so many memories. I would do this in a heartbeat again, to get in the Amazon and Antarctica in one go. And you only have to get to Miami. I mean, you could drive if you didn't want to get on a plane or take a train. There's, and the flight would be so short. So fabulous opportunity here too.
Thank you, Diane. And you know what is really exciting is that this sailing is actually departing on the same day from Miami as the Grand Royal Voyage on the Sojourn. So we'll have two ships sailing from Miami on January the 6th, 2023. So we are having this amazing send-off in Miami for all of our guests that are going to be on these itineraries. So it is going to be a very specifically historic night for everybody. And I really hope that you can join us. And as Diane mentioned, this opportunity to sail into the Amazon, and what is unique about this is not only are we going into Manaus, but we are going an additional 700 kilometers to Iquitos, which very few cruise lines can do, for a very in-depth Amazon experience. So this is going to be an extraordinary time. And the Antarctic, we are going to be down there at the peak of their summer, so mid-February. Hopefully the Drake crossing won't be too challenging for us, but it's always an adventure. We have the top expedition leaders in the world that sail with Seabourn. So that is something that makes us not only unique to the industry, but will give you that added educational component and experience that no other cruise line can offer you. And that sailing up the west coast of South America will give you the opportunity to go into Machu Picchu. So this is a check, check, check bucket list itinerary. So that is why I appreciate your patience, and thank you, Diane, for that encouragement, because this is really a very special itinerary that is brand new for us. So we look forward to anybody that is going to be joining us to South America. And as you say, sitting with a penguin is a life-changing experience. So please come and join us. And again, here are some very interesting segments for a little shorter duration if you can't do the entire itinerary at one full swoop. And also, we will always offer you some great opportunities for early booking to give you some, special extra added value. And our Grand World Best, our guests will be receiving some special shore event experiences. And of course, our always unique pillow gifts. So I have to say, this is something that I really hope that you'll take a look at. I want to thank you very, very much for hanging in with me for such a long time and allowing me to share the Seabourn experience with you. We have a lot of worldwide itineraries. As I mentioned, we have launched our Greece return to sail January the 3rd on the Ovation, sailing from Athens. So for those of you that are ready to sail and are fully vaccinated, please take a look at that if you really want a nice summer getaway this year, or please join us on a Grand World Voyage for 2022, 2023, or our specific South America Grand Voyage. We have our signature savings event, which will offer you shipboard credits, even more, and also our Stay Connected internet package. So everybody wants to be connected nowadays, and we are going to make that possible by including an internet package for you. And I did mention the reduced deposit. So really, there's just been no better time for you to think about dreaming and returning to sailing. I really look forward to welcoming you on board Seabourn. Thank you so much for your time. And Diane, thank you for having me here today. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Lori. That was fantastic. Do you have a couple minutes if anybody has any questions?
Absolutely. I would love.
Right. If anybody has a question, just type it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. We're a small group, so I think that we can manage this. Yes, Jennifer, go right ahead.
Thank you, Diane, and thank you, Lori. I'm just giddy at the thought. I have taken in advance the year of, I'm a teacher, school year of 2022, 2023 off to travel.
Oh,
Obviously planned before COVID. And I am looking at definitely the one that was advertised
Mhm.
for starting in January 2023, the World Cruise. I've only ever done 2 cruises. Both were delightful. One was Holland America, one was Azamara.
Mhm.
Excellent experiences both. My specific question is, and I suspect that I know the answer based on your, I don't know anyone else that's going to be able to come on 154 days with me, but there are
have
other
our bag packed.
but people can, I'm assuming it's broken into chunks, so there could be different people that might join me on different parts. Is that a possibility?
Let me check that out because we have what's called a solo travelers program.
Which I think I will be, because
Yeah.
I'm in a fortunate position with the time off and the money saved to do this, which I understand the average person might not.
Mhm.
Might I say, first off, congratulations to you for making this not only a priority, but a great focus for you, because I think after this year, more people have understood the value of travel and experiential travel, more importantly.
Mhm.
I just wish you the most amazing time, and I look forward. I hope you are blogging or at least doing something on social media so we can follow you along your trip.
Yes.
I'd love to hear about you.
I'm a pretty, I have a communications degree, so yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is magnificent. I commend you. I think you will have the time of your life. And in fact, I know you will. So this is truly something you've been looking forward to and planning for a while.
Yes, and like I said, when I first booked, it's an opportunity at work. I'm doing 4 years work at 3/4 the pay for the first 3 years, and then I get 3/4 of the pay on the year I'm off. One of the trips was to be a Hawaiian cruise with my mom, and she actually just passed in February. And
Oh,
one was to be Ireland and Scotland with my common law husband, and one was to be Europe with my son who has European roots. Anyway, all not going to Hawaii now without mom. And
yeah.
this came across my feed, and I'm like, mom would absolutely want, she was a huge traveler. Mom would absolutely want me to go on a world cruise and just toast her in every port. So
That's
that one I'm definitely interested in. So I've requested the quote and the brochure, and I'm ready to semi-commit.
Perfect.
well, I think that's fantastic. And I know Diane will be able to navigate that for you. And if you do the reduced deposit and get all that in play, you know, that will really help you, I think, you know, to look forward to that. I think travel is something that really everybody can benefit for when you have something to look forward to. That
Now it's listening to CBC. I listen to it all the time, but recently one of the happiness experts said, anticipation is a form of happiness.
Oh, yeah.
mhm.
So this is,
I
it's
think
good.
it's,
Okay.
it's not only a form of happiness, but I think it's part of the travel experience is the anticipation of where you're sailing to. So we are looking very forward to welcoming you on board. Thank you very much, Jennifer.
And thank you for your time, and I will mute myself to give others the opportunity.
Thank you.
You. Anybody else have any questions? That was great, Jennifer. Thanks for sharing that. There, and if it comes to you after, I'm an email away. You know, we can do a Zoom or a phone call and continue the conversation. It is definitely something so thrilling and for so many people, the ultimate bucket list. And from COVID, one of the definite trends we are seeing as we emerge are people are not waiting until the kids are, you know, moved out of the house and done university and retired and, you know, all of those things that people would say are roadblocks. They're realizing we don't know what's coming down the pipes. And, you know, advanced planning, we can make it happen, and let's just get it done now. I can tell you, when I sailed the Antarctic for a month there, because my business is intentionally set up to be able to work anywhere in the world. So I did work every day. especially on sailing days, for a few hours. And with that internet, that makes it totally possible. So people that are working or are semi-retired or, do contract work, it's a very possible way to continue to live and experience, but still do the commitments that you have.
Absolutely. And you can see that picture of me. That is me at work on Seabourn.
I love it.
I was working, actually. I was sending back a photo shoot. So I was working, but it's a really good point that you raised, Diane, because you will notice that on board. I would say probably 60% of the people are working on board. It's not, a lot of retirees, which is wonderful too, if that can happen for you. But a lot of people, as you say, are just saying, you know what, I'm going to go now while I can. I encourage everybody to do so.
That's right. Well, thank you. And if there's no more questions right now, we'll just bid you all a great rest of the afternoon. Get out and enjoy the sun and the beautiful spring we're having here. And we'll see you next week again on Travel Talks. Thank you,
Diane.